it gives you it from his perspective. So it will literally make you side with the bad guy. Hey guys, it's me and Aaron. I'm back here with another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some Netflix recommendations because honestly, a lot of people are bored at home right now. And I just feel like, why not give you guys movies and TV shows that you can actually watch, and they actually might spike your interest. You might actually enjoy them. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Alright, so the first recommendation on my list here is The Vampire Diaries. Now this show has 8 seasons, and honestly, I don't regret a minute of watching it. Like, it was one of the best shows like I've ever seen. It revolves around a teenage girl living like her normal life or whatever. She did have tragedies go on in her life beforehand of meeting the 2 vampire brothers that are also like main characters, but they both end up liking her. Honestly, like, it kind of just like journeys on into like flashbacks and then the present day, and then like they just go through a lot together as a whole. Alright, so the second recommendation that I have on this list is called Legacies. Now Legacies actually goes off of The Vampire Diaries, and it also goes off of a show called The Originals. It is a good show. Now what I would say is that they definitely try to be modern with the show. So like, you know how society looks today and how the world looks today, like that's how they made it look in Legacies. And instead of like focusing on just like vampires or werewolves or witches, like they ended up doing like everything like supernatural. So if you're into just a bunch of like supernatural type stuff, and like, you know, if you end up liking The Vampire Diaries, or if you watch The Originals and you like it, you want to see what happens next, then definitely watch Legacies. The third recommendation is Roswell, New Mexico. I'm actually currently watching the show right now, but all I can say is that Roswell, New Mexico is just an amazing show in general. Like, I just love it. It kind of reminds me of The Vampire Diaries because a lot of the characters who were in like The Originals and The Vampire Diaries ended up being in Roswell, New Mexico. Obviously they don't play themselves, but the way the characters act and like the similarities in general, it reminds me of The Vampire Diaries. So if you want a show that would remind you of The Vampire Diaries, then that's the show for you. But that show has to deal with aliens instead of vampires. Like, it's all about aliens. So if you're into that sci-fi type stuff, it's perfect. Basically, there was a UFO crash, and then these 3 aliens, you know, they're not green or whatever. Like, they look like real humans, you know. They come out and they end up getting adopted, and then it kind of just shows their life. So it shows like the past and what went on in the past, and then it shows like present day and how everything relates to everything. So if you're into that type of stuff, definitely Roswell, New Mexico is the show for you. The fourth show that I recommend is American Horror Story, only because like this show like relates to like a whole bunch of different stuff. So like if you're into like a whole bunch of different things, then I think that you should watch American Horror Story, because I'll give you an example right now. Like, season 1 was based off of like ghosts and murders. Season 2 had to deal with like aliens. Season 3 had to do with like witches. Like, if you're into like a bunch of different stuff but like it relates to each other in some type of way, then watch American Horror Story, because everything in that show links up with each other. Fifth show that I'm about to recommend is actually one of my very, very favorites, and that show is called Dynasty. Dynasty is just like a really good show. Like, if you're into like drama and like stuff that has to revolve around like family and stuff like that, like Dynasty is like the perfect show for it. Like, it's just a little bit of everything, you know. It has the jokes, it has the drama, it just has everything together in it. So the last show I'll be recommending to you guys is the show called You. You revolves around this guy named Joe, and he is a stalker slash sociopath. Now, it gives you it from his perspective. So it will literally make you side with the bad guy. And it's crazy because it's like you would think stalkers are bad. Oh, he's a sociopath, he's bad. But like, if you see what he went through and you see what he's trying to do for the girl that he likes and he's really trying to make her happy, like you'll understand why he did what he did. But then drama with his like ex-girlfriend like comes up, and then like a lot just happens in the show. Like he did a lot for the girl that he really liked. So if you're into like psychological type stuff, romance and drama, You is like literally the perfect show. Alright, so now I'm going to be recommending movies to you guys. So the first movie I recommend is the movie called Juice. So this has to do with 4 boys who are growing up in a neighborhood, and they're very close with each other. You know, even though they're around bad crowds all the time, they always stuck together because they're very close. So one day, 3 out of 4 of the boys make a plan to rob this deli/corner store, and they kind of dragged along the 4th boy even though he didn't want to do it. So this one action literally led to a bunch of chaos. Like the day they robbed the deli/corner store, everything kind of just went downhill after that. So if you're into like drama and action, that's the movie for you. The next movie I'm going to recommend is a horror movie, and that movie is called Insidious. So Insidious is about a young boy and his family. So the young boy's father used to do this thing when he was little called astral projecting. That's when you like leave your body when you're sleeping. It's like spiritual in a way, but like there's still like bad presences out there. Basically the dad forgot that he used to astral project, but this trait of astral projecting passed off onto the little boy. So the little boy starts to astral project. His parents don't know at the time. He falls into what they think is a coma, but really he's possessed. So his family just has to go through a whole bunch to get him back, you know, save their son and get life back to normal. Alright, so this next recommendation is actually one of my favorite Tarantino movies. I will warn you, it's very violent though. So if you're not into like violent type stuff, then maybe this isn't the movie for you. But if you just want to see how the story plays out and how everything falls together, then I suggest that you watch it. So that movie is called Django. So Django has to revolve around when slavery was going on. So the main character, Django, meets this guy who is actually a bounty hunter. They end up teaming up, making a very good team. So Django wanted to find his wife. So him and the bounty hunter basically tracked her down, found her, but they went through this whole long process just trying to get her back. But you see how everything just like falls into place and how everything ends up being good in the end if you watch it. Alright, so here's the last recommendation I'll be giving you guys. This movie is actually in the Black Lives Matter collection. This is called See You Yesterday. So it's about this girl named CJ and her best friend making this thing that basically makes them time travel. And the thing is, instead of going way back in the past or whatever, like it was present day and they went back a day before. So basically yesterday, you know? So they go back to yesterday, but they're only there for like 10 minutes and it zaps them back to the present. While they were in yesterday or like the past, CJ's brother ends up getting shot, so she has to do everything she can. Like she has to keep on going back and back to try to fix everything, or else like that's going to obviously affect her life in the present. So basically, if you want to have a movie that's going to be keeping you on your toes, that's the right movie for you. Well guys, that was it for today's video. Make sure you go like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on my post notifications and share my channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.